Welcome back, Radium Podcast, episode 21. We got Kevin Beggs, KDE.
I'm here.
He's here. He's always here. Bradley Denniston here. And special guest here today, Adam Small.
What's up?
So, Adam, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself to our listeners?
What's up? Adam Small, A&R at Artistry Records, Warner Brothers. And what else? We did anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Here, enjoying a nice coffee, sitting with the Radium guys on their podcast.
There you go.
Talk some music game.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
The business.
Yeah, well, A&Rs
industry.
A&Rs are around music all the time, right? So you're comfortable in the studio setting.
It's where I live at.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder why I pay rent.
Yeah, why
Same
do you?
here.
Yeah, Kevin lives here, so he just sleeps
Makes
under
it
the
happen.
desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
So yeah, would love to hear a little background on what got you into A&Ring, and yeah, what's that story like? What was it? What was the trajectory?
I started interning. You know,
Oh,
like
nice.
most people do. Didn't really know much about the music industry. But I was actually doing undergrad at Butler University in
Gotcha.
Indianapolis, and I needed an internship to graduate.
Nice.
And growing up in Detroit, I was kind of over the Midwest, wanted to get some sunshine.
There
Moved
you
out
go.
here for the summer. Ended up interning for Snoop Dogg.
Sick.
At the Cashmere Agency, which is his marketing agency. They partner with Stampede Management, which is also his management company. I think at the time they were managing YG, and a couple other West Coast acts. And I just, I got involved right when he was doing the Snoop Lion reincarnated campaign.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Oh yeah, that was huge.
The rebrand.
It was a little troubling for me.
That was a weird era.
Being such a hip hop fan and going to work for one of my my legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Seeing
shit.
him do some crazy shit, I was just like, whoa.
You're like, what?
But hey,
reggae?
then I just realized you can work a job and smoke weed. It was tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in.
It's
I'm
the right
down.
job for me.
All jokes aside, though, no, it was
Yeah.
really cool. I got to see a whole new type of industry. I was a finance major in college, so I was, planning on going to Wall Street or something of that nature, and that kind of changed my trajectory. Went back and finished my last year, moved back out, a week after graduating. Started working at Universal Music Group Distribution, and that kind of taught me how labels were structured, how they move units. Just kind of seeing where all your favorite artists were at, what their subsidiaries were, who ran those things, and kind of learning, who were the key players.
Yeah.
From there, I did some marketing, and then I linked up with my mentor, Max Goose. He just texted me. And basically, he was managing talent. At the time, we were working with V. Bozeman. She's still one of our clients today. She was on Empire. Actually had the highest selling record ever on Empire, What Is Love. Season 1, episode 1. Go check that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that show. That show's awesome.
So from working with her, I got to interface with Mosley Music Group, which was Timberland's imprint on Epic. Basically just, doing everything from, admin stuff to A&R coordination to just management, wearing every hat, right?
Yeah.
Through that, I started working for Too Short.
Sick.
He was partners in the management company for V. And, just kind of found my way back into hip-hop from there.
Dope.
And then, I've been with Artistry for... Back then, it was Artistry Worldwide Management, and it still is, but now we have Artistry Records, which I now co-own with Max Goose.
Very cool.
So in those
Congrats.
Thank you. In those 4 years, I went from being intern to assistant to coordinator to now partner.
Yep.
Most recently, we've had success with our artist Saweetie. We just did a joint venture for her imprint, Icy, with Warner Brothers.
Very cool.
So now we're Artistry Records, Icy, Warner Music Group. And, we're looking for the next wave of talent. We have a lot of people that we're developing right now. Icy Girl is on its way to platinum, just went gold.
Yeah. It's a big one.
Congrats. There's some big wins there.
Yeah, but it's all part of the process. We're not settling. We're still going forward.
There's going to be the bigger one, you know what I mean, and the next one.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't really look at it as, it's all about moving forward.
Yeah.
The only direction that
Right.
matters is forward. And to be able to see a company and build a company from the ground up, where you're an intern doing everything to now being one of the principals is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And really just comes down to hard work, focus, and making the right decisions.
Let me ask you, how much did your finance degree, or your background in finance, like really play into what you do, and how that works with the labels and units and?
Honestly, as far as my daily duties with the label, I really just run A&R. There are negotiations of deals, but to be honest, we have the Artistry Group. We have a distribution slate with Lionsgate, so we do movies.
Yeah.
We have influencers that we have a partnership with one I1, which is a big advertising urban network.
Gotcha.
And then we have the music side and the management side. I would say the biggest way finance helps is just understanding revenue and liabilities versus what you have coming in.
Yeah.
And
Right.
understanding where the money goes, and also being around people in finance can help you find money for other projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm doing a movie, I know how to structure a business plan and go approach someone for an investment. And that just comes from being a logical person to get most of it done, but also understanding some of the language that's involved and things
Right.
like that has definitely been beneficial.
Yeah. Because I imagine, like now you going into, owning a record label and all that, like you have to be very, calculated with what you're investing in as far as talents and, roster. And,
Absolutely. And, when it comes to making budgets for recording an album, you have to know what makes sense.
Right.
If I'm bringing 10 people to Miami and the artist says, I want to stay here or stay there,
Right.
I have to make it make sense for what it would cost us at the place that is logical.
yeah.
So, kind of, weighing that out with, the overall budget and seeing, how much we're paying these producers for these tracks, vocal production, engineering, studio, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And working.
Budgeting is a huge thing.
Well, luckily we have admin to help us with that.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
On my side with an A&R, I kind of have to, handle the backside of it. To get done what the label wants and what the artist wants.
Yeah. You're
And find a happy medium,
that middle ground, that communication.
That liaison.
Yeah.
as they say.
Yeah. That's the word on the streets.
So,
Right.
I guess talk to us about like the management side and dealing with artists and the daily tasks and the needs of the people that you work with.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
heavy.
a loaded question.
Yeah, that's 10 questions in one.
Management's cool. I think the best managers realize that, their job is to be an advisory role.
Right.
And at the end of the day, as managers and executives, we don't really matter. It's the artist that matters. And, as long as you're getting the work done, you're on the right track. But it's also keeping expectations where they need to be.
Yeah.
And really, nothing is impossible. That's the biggest thing Max Goose taught me, is that nothing's impossible. So find a way to get it done. And, if it financially makes sense and, it's the right move to help build the brand, then you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people get it twisted. You're partners with the artist on paperwork, whether you take 20% or 15% or 10%.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're working for them, and
Right.
your revenue, your income is based off their income and their revenue.
Right.
So you have to really make happen what they want to make happen. You never want to get into arguments with the artist. That's the number
Yeah.
one. That's
Right.
the number one thing I'll tell you.
Yep.
It's your goal should be to never argue with the artist. You have to pick your battles very wisely.
Right.
Yeah.
And you gotta stay on the same page. So it's definitely a game where you have to balance everything. But I think that the best managers are the ones that are selfless, but can put themselves in the artist's shoes to be selfish for that artist.
Gotcha.
When it comes to negotiating split agreements, to booking shows with the booking agents, making sure everything's taken care of, and crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
I feel like that's like a whole area of the doing business part. It's like a whole part that the artist brain doesn't even want to think about, talk about, handle.
They shouldn't think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's people really underestimate what it takes to not just put a record out, but to work a record.
Yeah.
And in working that record comes shows, endorsements, radio runs, and it takes a team. We have a great team in place, someone that can wrangle dancers and DJs and handle travel with the admin at the label.
Yep.
And, coordinate a whole working timeline for 6 months. That has to be updated every day because things either cancel or get added. You prioritize new things. It's a lot. I mean, I'm definitely fortunate where I get to focus more on the record side.
Yeah.
But I definitely see all that. And I have to adjust accordingly. I mean, beyond doing A&R, sometimes I wear the hat of a tour manager.
Yep.
I advance every show. I handle all the show tracks, all the visuals.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All the advancing, even if I'm not there. But even at Rolling Loud for Saweetie, I made sure that I was running the visuals for the video jockey.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, nothing matters as long as the show goes well.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say you have to wear every hat, and you can't be afraid to pick up dirt. No one's above anything. It's about winning.
Yeah.
And thankfully we have a great CEO. Max is really dope. He has a lot of experience. He's done everything from Beyonce to B2K to YG, and now Saweetie. And he knows what's up. So when he calls the shots, we trust him and we go for it, and it's been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to have a team, but you definitely have to have someone who knows what they're doing to run the point.
Right.
And I can run the point in the studio, but again, at the end of the day, the records are just a small
part
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is the typical team size for a lot of the artists that you handle and manage on your label?
Wow. It varies. I mean, with Artistry, we have a key group of people that we kind of do everything with.
Okay.
And that can range anywhere, from 2 people running it to, having a social media team and having day-to-day managers and general managers and, tour managers. So it really grows. But then you have a whole label. If you know how to use a label properly, that's a big challenge for a lot of people. They get the deal and they're like, oh, we're there, we're done. But you have to make the label work for you.
Yeah. So you're handling a lot of management and label side and that cohesiveness kind of.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's deal with the label is different. Sometimes, if you've done a good job of building the artist, then the label won't try to fix what isn't broken, right?
Right.
A lot of artists that I don't work with get a label deal, but they don't have the structure in place to actually do anything.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a big part of what we do in Artistry is when we develop talent, we try to, build it up as much as we can so it's a well-oiled machine. So when we go find that partner for that artist or for our label ourselves, then, we can keep operating as is and working collectively to, with the resources to build something great.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear more, for our audience, knowing your background and your hustle, because it sounds like you've come up from interning, going to school, kind of like this down from the bottom, climbing all the way up to being a partner in the business. What do artists really need to know to be managed by someone like you or sign a deal with someone like you and your team?
What do they need to know? I think it's more what they need to do.
There we go.
Where do they need to be, I guess, would probably be.
I tell every artist you have to be your own CEO. You can't just expect someone who didn't create the product to come on and care about it as much as you and so see what you're doing. Look at Shark Tank, right? Selling music is like selling T-shirts.
Yep.
If you're an artist and with or without management and you want a label or an investor to give you money, what's the first thing they ask you on Shark Tank?
Right. How many have you sold?
What are your sales, right?
What are your revenue? Yeah.
So,
what are you doing?
Now, as much as I don't pride myself on being a research A&R, I go off my gut, and I like to work with people who are really talented and don't just have YouTube numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
But those numbers matter. Even if it's even if you have 5,000 followers, if you can show me that you have 400, 500 people engaging with you,
right,
then that's important. I mean, you'll see 100,000 people, 100,000 followers. They get less likes than I do on a page, and I don't even use my Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's about coming to us and saying, how can we help you?
Right.
We can see talent all day and be like, oh, this would be great with this producer, that producer. They fit into this show, or they'd be on Empire or The Four or things like that. But it really has to do with what do they want to do? Where do they see it? Where do they see themselves taking it? Because we're really maximizers. We see what you're already doing. I mean, there's a rare case where we can take someone from, obscurity to stardom,
completely ground up from
Yeah, but that's
find them in their bedrooms.
I mean, I have projects like that.
Yeah.
That are signed to me. But you know, it's very rare that you can find someone that will be a star that doesn't already know where they want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to have that vision. And you know, I'm a big believer in creating and manifesting your destiny. So if you have the vision of grandiose things in your life and all this stuff, then and you really believe it, then you will do whatever it takes to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what's you know, I understand that is a very big question, and you know, it's like everybody struggles with that. It's like these artists will even come up to us or DM us and ask us about it, you know. So I want to get from your mouth and from your perspective, what is something that they can do to start maximizing in the music industry? Like, you know, a simple step or two or whatever you think would be like the most important.
Understanding their audience. Something as simple as Google advertising.
Right.
Or Facebook advertising. And doing trial runs and targeting who you really are marketing to can make a world of difference. Like even with Icy Girl, right? That record was viral on its own.
Right.
But we still had to target, you still had to know your audience who you're selling it to, because otherwise you can't go on tour.
Yeah.
How do you, even if...
Who do you sell tickets to,
Who do you sell tickets to? And Google is a great tool.
Right.
Google and YouTube can show you analytics of where people are listening, even SoundCloud, where they're listening, doing all these things. So you can target those people. You know, and, you know, yeah, it takes an indie radio guy and it takes, you know, a lot of stuff, but you need to, you know, if I was an independent artist and I had, you know, $2,000 and I just shot a video, I would go to Google Ads and create an account. And, you know, the first week I would spend $150 or $200 and see where people are listening to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I would start pumping money into that area.
Right.
We were just talking about this today, me and Brad.
Yeah.
Creating lookalike audiences. And,
and Facebook pixels and all that. So.
Pixels is great.
It's insane. Like the power of what we have where we log into our laptop nowadays. Like I don't think a lot of people understand how powerful that is.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I think that you need to gather as much information about your audience as possible.
Right.
You know, every time we do a promotional pop-up or a giveaway, we get people's emails.
Right. Yeah.
And if you have people's emails, like you have everything.
Literally everything.
You literally have a key into their house.
It's so
true. You
true.
can say, hey, here's what we're selling now.
And why is that? Can you break that down? Why like that, you know, you get someone's email, because I think this is really an interesting topic. You get someone's email and then all of a sudden you have all these data points on them. How?
I mean, I don't know the back end technologically, but I get, every day I wake up and I have 200 emails.
Right.
And honestly, 50 of them are important.
Right.
The rest of them are me signing up because I want to see something on the internet, or I'm buying shoes and they make you make an account.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know, it's bigger than hip hop, right?
Right.
Or any music. If I go to StockX, I want to buy shoes. They're advertising hip hop streetwear. They're advertising music, all this stuff. So if they have me on their platform, why wouldn't they pump stuff to me? Every time you agree to terms, you're telling them they can do that.
Yeah. You're basically, cool.
That big ass window where you're like, I'm not reading this shit. Just get me out of here, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you swear in here?
Yeah.
Of course.
We're swearing all the time.
Fucking right.
We're adults.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's about understanding your audience. Just like if you're selling t-shirts, man.
Right.
Like if you are selling stuff online, you know where they're going. You know where people are buying them. So if we have, I'd say set up a merch store also.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if you got to look at it like a single brick. Every person that goes to your show and enjoys your show is going to tell 5 of their friends about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you can get people to do a pre-sale ticket to your show, they're going to give you their emails.
Right.
And then you can say, hey, by the way, I just launched my merch store. Like, you know, buy some stuff or have a merch booth at the venue, and they're going to buy that. And, you know, they're probably going to, you know, if you post this on Instagram and tag us, you know, we'll give you 10% off your next thing. I mean, there's so many ways to just keep the consumer engaged.
Yeah.
and I'm not a pro at it, but I do it. I'm one of those consumers.
Yep.
Right.
If Eminem drops something, I'm gonna go buy it.
Yep.
Right.
Even though I don't
Exactly.
like
And
his
you want to
music
know
right
about
now.
it too.
Yeah, I want
you
to know about it because the guy's like a ghost.
Yeah. Right. He doesn't ever do interviews.
I'm not a fan of his music right now,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I'm a kid from Detroit, and I
You'll
love
still buy
hip-hop.
it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Dude,
you're
if
the
he does
Detroit guy.
If he does a box set or something like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That shit's cool, man. And that's kind of what we were losing today in today's like SoundCloud culture. No one
Right.
has any attention span.
Yeah.
Not at all. But I feel like it's
that's
also
a larger thing of society, though. I feel the attention span thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like it's also kind of
Cell phone
part
culture.
of how the
Look, as a booking agent, would you rather have Stevie Wonder or would you rather have the hottest SoundCloud rapper?
right.
Stevie Wonder's going to get you over $1 million a night
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sell out.
Yeah. But I honestly think it has a lot to do with the artists and the labels and the business side as well. They're not building the culture. It's like they don't really care. They're like, hey, this guy's just like this guy, and that seems to work for now. So let's just replicate that.
Well, why do they owe you the culture?
Well, all I'm saying is like,
If Walmart has a product similar to Beats, they're going to sell headphones or something.
Right.
Beats for less money.
Yep.
totally.
It's a business. We get it screwed up though. Like Def Jam, to me, is like one of the more iconic labels.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? But at the same time, they're based in LA. How many West Coast artists have they really signed?
Right.
Look, when Max went to Def Jam, YG was the first rapper they signed in 15 years from the West Coast.
Yep.
So,
He didn't fare too well on Def Jam, right? If I remember.
who, YG?
Yeah.
He's doing great now. He's got one of the
Yeah.
biggest records on the radio right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Big Sean, Nicki,
Yeah, huge.
Big Bang. I mean, look, but YG's an authentic artist.
Yep.
Right.
YG is one of those artists that has so much charisma on stage, you'll feel like you're performing with him. It's like Jay-Z.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you like that kind of music, he hits it every time.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
he's really about that life.
Yeah. His the brand is like, not like based on lifestyle. It's not based on,
I mean, I think
sort of.
it's kind of like, Tupac in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think he means as much to the culture as Tupac did.
Right.
But, I personally like all types of music
Yep.
because they all do something different for me.
For sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
you're not gonna like go to sleep to some turn up club shit.
Right, but if I'm in the club, I'm going to turn up to it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
If I'm out here in California driving down Sunset, it's a beautiful day, top down,
Yeah.
and YG and Nipsey Hussle come on, I'm going to ride to that shit.
Right,
Same way I'd ride to Dre and Snoop.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing. It's a marker in culture. So I think it's more up to the artist to create the culture than the label.
Right. That's my point though. I mean, I wasn't saying it's all on the label or all on the artist. I think it's more of like the artists aren't really trying for that as much as they used to. It used to be where the artists really wanted to make a dent in culture. The Tupacs, the Snoops, the Dre's, they were making movements, and now it's like, oh, how can I make $1,000 in a month off music?
Well, I think merchandise is how you make a lot of money these days.
Yeah, right.
You know, even someone like 2 Chainz.
Right.
Dabbing Santa, CEOO. It's a great way to not only sell merch, but move units.
For
Yeah.
sure.
If you sell a sweatshirt and give someone a physical copy with it, you sold a unit and you sold merch.
Right.
Right.
Good point.
But you gotta think about it. If someone had a shirt that says 2 Chainz on it, it's not gonna sell.
Right.
I don't care how much you like the artist,
Right.
you won't necessarily like the brand. But a micro brand like CEOO, everyone can be on some boss shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot now. I'm seeing that a lot.
I think touching culture is like one of the main ways how you like hack the things like going viral and all that. Like Drake's song wouldn't have been Drake's song without the shaky dance. You know what I mean?
And all the
That he was
memes and
doing
all the
all that,
videos. Yeah.
I think Drake has a hack on the system that he didn't intend to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Nice for What goes number 1 for any other artist.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No way.
I think Drake had his first number 1 with, I think it was Hotline Bling, like 3
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
Yep.
This guy's gonna have more number 1s than Paul McCartney by the time he's done. Because of the way streaming's set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he's such a force in the culture.
He is.
Like, I don't even want to hear Kiki's name anymore.
Right.
Like, in the older culture, trying to figure out if Annie's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not worried about Kiki. You know what I'm
They don't care about Kiki. They don't even know who this Kiki is.
Yeah.
Right. And, Drake, Drake has had, I think, now 4 number 1 records.
Yep.
And he's
That's
got
crazy.
7 of the top 10 right now. If I haven't checked this week, but last week.
Yeah,
he
he's
had 7 of the
been
top 10.
number 1 for like 27 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Right.
I mean, but now it's probably more. But
Right. Between Nice or What, God's Plan, and
Yeah.
now In My Feelings.
Yeah, it's just
So,
insane.
And I think that's, that's kind of where we're at with this whole streaming thing. I think that the culture needs to catch up.
Right.
But he's poised to go number 1 every time.
yeah, so you think the change on the Nielsen SoundScan and them adding streaming to counting numbers, that's what made Drake start hitting number 1s when he wasn't necessarily doing that.
I mean, I think
That was the change.
I think it has to do with he's so engaging to his fan base, and he's so appeasable to everyone. Like, there's no one that, like, if you don't like Drake, you're a hater.
Right. Right. You're just a hater. Right.
But,
Just because he's killing it.
Even
Hate that guy.
Even like teenagers who they relate to Drake. Their parents are cool with Drake. Like, he used to be on Degrassi.
Right.
Right.
He's like he comes off as a nice guy. I mean,
Right.
like, you realize this guy took an L from Pusha T, and no one even cares anymore.
Right.
Because Kiki doesn't know if Kiki loves him.
Yeah. They don't give a shit.
No
anymore.
one gives a
Yeah.
no one cares.
But everyone's gonna bring that up in 20 years from now when Drake, is retired or wherever he may be.
No one's gonna even remember that.
Yeah.
It's gonna take Pusha T getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for anyone to even bring that
Right.
up. Like, you understand, Drake has been the undisputed best in the game for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not top 3. Like Jay-Z was always like top 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Who's the best MC? Like Jay-Z, Nas.
Right. There was always a list. Yeah.
Right. It's been Drake every year since like 2000, since like 99 or 2009.
He's like the Michael Jackson of this era.
But even more because Michael Jackson had Prince. There's
Right.
Drake is like LeBron James.
Yeah.
You know what Drake did that is so interesting. People don't like to talk. He kind of created the formula for what modern music is. You know what I mean? That kind of mixture between
The R&B.
I just remember
hip-hop.
when he first came
pop.
out, he was like one of the first artists to be like, yeah, I sing and I rap simultaneously.
Right. That was a
think
huge deal.
That was a huge deal.
I mean, I think it kind of spawns from Kanye and Kid Cudi
Yeah.
being the first kids who weren't street guys to become
right.
major rappers.
Wearing the polos.
Or
and
even
everything.
Lil Wayne just starting with autotune and singing as a rapper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure. I mean, if you even the content though, the In My Feelings type stuff, not the record, but actually being in your feelings, that's like blues music.
Right.
Yeah.
Super
when-
blues. Yeah.
So in 08 when Kanye did
Heartbreaks.
808s and Heartbreak,
Yeah. It was already kind of set up that way for sure.
yeah, I mean, but he was also like sampling like Tears for Fears and like
Right.
kinda doing all this stuff, and that kind of led to the whole like Take Care with Drake,
Totally.
and that spawned The Weeknd, and now we're all the way up here where they've kept that momentum going.
For
You know,
sure.
I mean, look at Future. Future is soul music,
Yeah.
but it allowed for people to talk about their feelings in hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. It was like that open conversation all of a sudden.
There was a point where hip hop went from selling drugs to doing drugs,
Yeah.
and there was a point where hip hop went from fuck your feelings to I now have feelings.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
know,
true. Now we got this emo wave
Now we
of
have
trap.
now we have skinny jeans,
Right.
emotional shit.
Man,
Absolutely.
Skinny Jeans used to be back around when what was the You're a Jerk. Like
Yeah,
that's when I
YG.
first
Yeah.
Yeah.
YG came up in the jerk movement.
Yeah.
yeah.
They were around before that with like Fall Out Boy and
Right. That's
Yeah.
really
Hot
what
Topic
it is.
and
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it
all
all is. That Hot Topic era. and then it made its way into trap music.
right.
Right. So, I would love to hear more about is, and I think our listeners as well would love to hear more about this, but how did you get involved with the show Empire, and how does that work for you and your company?
I mean, that wasn't really me. That was Max and
Gotcha.
and his partner Monica Payne, who managed V Bozeman. Monica's very close to Timbaland, and through that V auditioned for the show. She's an outstanding singer, and when Empire it still is a huge cultural
Right.
staple.
Yeah.
I think the initial formula was we need hit records every week that we can put online,
Yeah.
Right.
and she fit kind of into the mold of what that show was kind of going for.
Mm-hmm.
So Empire's still around. Lee Daniels, the creator, and Leah Daniels, I believe, is the head of casting. They just have good relationships with the people I work with, and that's how we were able to get a client on the show, continue to get clients on the show, and just kind of where was I?
Yeah, right. So a lot
of those shows come to music executives to go to the writing room.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I think Max, my mentor and partner, was one of those people they always kind of brought in to give them direction, because you have to make it realistic.
Right. So they wanted to like basically bring the records to the show and have that intertwine with the show. Like,
that was originally, from my understanding, Timbaland's involvement.
I see. Okay.
He was kind of tasked. He's one of the best producers ever. We're going to curate these records.
I can hear his sound, in the
throughout the show, especially like season 1 and 2 for sure.
But you can see how the storyline changed. I mean, I'm not an avid viewer of the show, but there was a point where it went from being run like an 80s record label to being one focused on streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
That clearly happened in the writer's room somewhere. Otherwise,
Totally.
That would have just been the case from the very beginning.
Yeah.
We all use streaming. I mean, the music industry, Empire side, is so slow to adapt, man.
Yeah, 100%.
15 years ago, Rhapsody was saying, hey, pay us $12 a month to listen to all the music you want. I'm like, fuck that. I got
That's so
iTunes.
stupid. Yeah. Right?
Now we pay $12 a month to multiple platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
All because Jay-Z doesn't want to play the game.
Right.
He wants to be on Tidal.
Well, the first time Napster came in the game and then started giving out free music, like the record labels went automatically to let's go catch the people they're giving music to. Let's go sue the people.
Instead of partnering up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? That's a great point, because you have two. Look, all right, so I'm wearing these shoes right now, right?
Yeah.
This artist, Troubled Andrew, is a graffiti artist, and he stole the Gucci print.
Gotcha.
Instead of suing him, he said, hey, people really like your shit. Let's go sell this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing now.
Right.
Why not allow... You can even put covers up on streaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are people so, hungry to, sue people? I don't get it.
I think a lot of it has to do with the way that how much money was involved in the 80s and 90s in the record industry. I think that was a huge era of selling records, CDs, and there was so much.
People didn't want to give up the model. That's
they
the
didn't.
truth.
They didn't want to give up having those margins that were massive.
The reason they were suing is because they were in their feelings about things getting stolen. So,
well, their margins going down.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the music industry is so slow that if you buy a book saying everything you need to know about the music industry, they still address the internet
Right.
as a threat.
That's the threat right there. It's still a threat
The internet's the greatest thing that ever happened to entertainment.
to modern man.
All it did was, I mean, there's a double-edged sword. It made everyone have the ability to become a super producer and become a great artist. I mean, YouTube.
Everyone had a recording studio.
Everyone could
Right
record.
on.
Even GarageBand.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just another DAW. It may not have all the you still need plugins for it, but it works, right?
Right.
And Logic is just a souped up version of it.
Full mixtapes and albums have been done on GarageBand.
Right. And there used to be a control of media when there was only MTV and there was only cable, but the culture had to change. I mean, I have a phone that I barely use to make phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Who makes phone calls anymore?
I mean, I tried to. No one ever wants to answer.
Right. That's
I'm a big phone call man, so.
Well, you can get more done in 15 seconds on the phone than a half-hour text conversation.
Oh, for
Yeah, I know.
sure. Or email. God.
And then you got to wait for people to hit you with the response. That's that's the thing that bugs me. So.
Right. And I think you brought up Napster as a great point.
Yeah.
It's like that to me was such a phenomenon, because that's how I actually started listening to music.
Right.
I couldn't go get my dad to go buy me hip hop,
Right.
but I could go steal that shit.
Right. With all the curse words and everything in it.
That did more for performing revenue than it did for music sales. So
Yeah,
music sales went down, but you have kids all over the world.
They were playing shows in their hometown and then going on tour and.
I don't know if Eminem is touring in Norway without Napster.
Right.
Yeah.
I really don't. And by that way, I don't know if 50 Cent's there with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
the whole aftermath regime probably
those are my guys.
Yeah.
I'm a stan. That's what they say. I'm a stan when it comes to 50 and M.
Yeah.
But
same here.
yeah, I think that for everything that the industry has to do, they have to be forced to adapt rather than be ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like from there, you know, you go from Napster going down to LimeWire to, you know, all the torrenting and all that happening. I think I remember when like they first started doing like 360 deals and, you know, trying to, you know, get into all sides of the artist business versus just like, we only take sales, you know what I mean? The record labels and stuff like that. So that was their like first starting to adapt step. Like, okay, now we're understanding like the global business of, you know, what it takes to run an artist, you know what I mean?
I mean, look, the music industry, I think only made less than $10 billion last year.
Yeah.
But they say by 2025, the revenues from streaming will make more money than it ever did.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think about all of these? I mean, I'm even seeing these videos with these producers, big pop producers and stuff, talking about Europe and everything in the EU with the royalty, you know, changing the way royalties work and streaming and how artists should get paid more. And I mean, what do you think about all this stuff? Because this is a big movement even in the US as well. It's like everyone trying to go, hold on, Spotify, you got to pay us more as creators.
I mean, I think it's necessary. There's some Music Modernization Act that just got
there's
just got passed.
There's a bunch of those acts coming through.
That just got passed. I also know that the current split on Spotify and most platforms is about 70% to the master side and 30% to the writer side.
Yep.
And the Modernization Act is trying to get closer to 50-50.
On the writers, yeah.
But that doesn't really benefit the writers. You know, it's more about the producers and the labels making the money.
Yeah.
So when you go to shop a publishing deal, they really don't care about your streams.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they care, but it's not the same as a physical sale.
Yeah.
Physical sales still reign. Radio still reigns.
That's why Adele goes, what'd she do, like 3 million first week or something on that last album? Or
3 million?
Yeah, like what one I think it was like 1 to 3 times platinum. I think it was 3 times platinum. The first, because none of her stuff went to streaming. The only way to get her album was a physical copy. And
the craziest I heard was Taylor Swift is the only artist ever to have 3 consecutive albums sell 1 million in the first week.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Off
of streams, you're saying?
Period.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just
equivalence.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
all the same, right?
3 million see, it took a certain point, you know, you were the people like in the late 90s, early 2000s was kind of like this precipice of media and music reaching the most people while sales still mattered.
Right.
So you really only had that window from like, I feel like 98 to 2005 where you could still sell a lot of records and be super famous.
Right.
Because that's like up till MySpace, right? Then after that, people started stealing music and streaming.
Right.
So
streaming only recently like has become like a popular thing where most people don't, people are using iTunes mostly, and then when they couldn't, they were stealing. So,
but it just took a long time for people you had to get all the people to, like, stealing music doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
Who steals music? Who steals music?
Yeah, why?
You can pay $10 whatever you want.
Yeah.
At any moment without interruptions or a bad mix or bad quality.
I guess what I'm saying is it was like 2003, 2004 where I started seeing every record store close.
Right.
Well, we had the recession too, so that
2008.
I think that hit the industry pretty hard. Like,
hell yeah,
we went under. Like,
yeah, it's not like everyone was like, man, we better run out and go spend money on music.
But the record stores closed long before that.
Yeah, for sure.
Long before. I went to go buy a CD at Target the other day. They still had 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying in there.
Yeah,
and they had to go look for the other CD.
That's amazing.
As a 50 fan, I was like, this is tight.
Yeah, Walmart is like...
I was also annoyed, though. Like,
they're all phasing out CDs.
Right. And it's, we just got physicals of Saweetie's High Maintenance EP.
Nice.
And I was geeked. I haven't held a CD in so long.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's amazing.
With the lyric booklet and everything.
Yeah,
it's a piece of art.
I used to love having to tear off the plastic and shit. That was... Yeah. Having that stuff all over my car.
Yeah, that's actually the most difficult part of opening a CD.
You know what? I feel like and just, me being around so many artists, I feel like you could sell like a physical part of the album without selling the physical album. Like you could just sell the art booklet, you know what I mean, with the album.
Well, I think vinyl sales are going up yearly.
Yeah, vinyl's still climbing, right?
It's the hipsters.
Some hipster shit.
It's some Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
As a label, do you guys like make vinyl like a any sort of priority with
I mean, that's not really my department. If we request physicals, we can get them.
Yeah.
But it's also about like, physicals are more for promotional use these days.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you can buy them at the show
At the
merch
show,
booth.
yeah.
Right.
But I don't know.
So they're just merch basically now.
Yeah. Physicals.
I feel like they always have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a CD player in my car. I've never used it.
Yeah, right.
I don't even have a USB on my computer anymore.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
You know,
You don't even think about that stuff at all. It's all coming from the cloud.
from the cloud.
From the
but
cloud.
Where is
We
the
still
cloud?
we still call it the cloud over here at Radium.
Where
It's
is
up in
it?
the cloud, man. Where is the cloud? Do you know?
It's everywhere, right?
So it's a movie with Vince Vaughn, right? Or no, it's Jason Segel.
It's got to be Jason Segel, the cloud. That's hilarious.
So yeah, I think the state of the music industry, you're saying it's gonna surpass the 90s. Like if we look at currently right now, the 90s was the pinnacle of money in your wallet for the labels.
Business cycle, man.
Undoubtedly. There's so many more artists.
Yeah.
You can you can create an imprint like that.
So much more content too. Need for music. There's formats, there's streaming, there's content being released like crazy nowadays.
We are in what we might look back as like the TuneCore era, where like the access is completely like it's so easy to get on any streaming platform.
YouTube counts towards RIA now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well,
That's insane.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Don't they have their
You
own
can go platinum off
streaming
YouTube.
They have their own streaming platform.
Yeah,
now, too.
they're now YouTube. What is it? YouTube Premium. That's their current now.
Yeah, but they
There's
have like
YouTube
a
Music also.
Yeah,
That's what,
YouTube Music, right.
I think Tuma and Basa, who was running Rep Caviar, left to go over to YouTube Music. And
wow,
I know
that's
Lior Cohn's over there too.
That's a huge move, though.
Yeah, that's
to
huge.
Start. I knew Lior left 300 for YouTube. That was a while back, but dang. So YouTube is like I see them almost like trying to compete with Apple. You know what I mean? And start.
I don't even think it'll be a competition.
Yeah, Apple's just out of here.
No,
You think? Or
I think YouTube's gonna crush everyone.
really?
What's the first thing you do when you hear a song you like?
Yes, you go onto YouTube.
You go to YouTube and see there's a video, bro. If they do it the right way.
Yeah.
They have to do it the right way though.
I always wondered why these like actual streaming platforms like Netflix didn't get into music, but I'm
They
sure
will.
they have their reasons.
They will.
Yeah.
Pornhub's into music, man. They're a
Yeah,
label.
it's crazy.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah. See, that's
Not that I checked,
Yeah, not that I have any idea.
but I read
about
an
that.
article that they now have a music label, and it's all like YouTube has more subscribers than all these people.
yeah.
Right.
That's true. They're the dinosaur. They're the longest lasting kind of social media platform streaming service.
Well, they kind of came up with Google, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're the same parent company or.
Well, Google bought out
investor.
YouTube once YouTube for a ton of money too. I think like a
Okay.
1.3.
Yeah.
So
billion.
you already
Billion.
know they're going to dominate the SEO.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I look for a song and YouTube's coming up
The
first,
first thing, right? YouTube Music every
Yeah,
time, right?
and we're visual people. We want to see videos. So
100%.
I think you'll see a lot of vertical videos where you can where it's on your phone. So,
Right, it's full screen.
Yeah. What do you think about the IGTV talking about?
I loved it. We recently released a video on there. We premiered it. It was
Nice.
the first video on their page. It was Saweetie's Good.
Yeah.
What did exceptionally well. I mean, look, they had the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
I think we racked up a couple 100,000 views on the first day.
Nice.
So it was like a big positive tool for your arsenal. Did you say?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put the play together. That was
Mhm.
Max, but I think it was a really smart play because, like, for someone like Saweetie, and really any artist that's on the cusp of what's popular today,
Yeah.
Instagram is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Number one.
It
So
goes
visual.
beyond being it goes beyond being an influencer. Like,
Yeah.
Instagram is a view into everyone's life.
Oh
Yep.
my God. I almost feel like it's part of your brain now. You
Right.
wake up to it, the stories, the timeline, you're just constantly on it.
Sure, and I think that knowing your fans, like you have to release content every day. People want
Yep.
to see what you're doing. They want
Right.
to see your story. So IGTV just makes sense.
Right.
If you're someone like Shiggy, who just did that dance for Drake, I guarantee you he's going to have a show out on Instagram TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Good point.
Why would you go to another platform?
Yeah.
IGTV might be a threat to YouTube, but I think that YouTube is going to may have an ability to surpass streaming of Spotify and all these other companies that are doing just music.
I think it really goes down to if us as humans start giving up the desktop. If we get more like, if we just get rid of computers and the phones become
You use a computer still?
right.
Well, you make music. So
Yeah, we have to.
We have to.
for me, 99% of what I do is on my iPhone.
Right.
I have
Yeah.
Google Docs, I have Google Sheets,
Right.
I have email. I'd rather send email on my phone anyways.
Totally.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
they're going to put the whole Adobe suite on the iPad, right? So
Oh,
they'll
that's
have
the
full
thing they're
on
doing.
on that.
Yeah.
But that'll turn into the phone.
You're saying the content creators are going to go to the phone now?
it
Well,
gets more
I
and more
think
like
there's
that.
always a use for high-powered machines, but
Yeah.
for someone like me,
Right.
like let me be on the go and not have to carry a computer with me.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Now, sometimes I'll bring a computer if I need to. If
Yeah.
I'm sound checking for an artist or standing in for a DJ, I
Right.
have to have a computer.
Totally.
If I'm, going through large amount of sessions files on my computer,
Yeah.
but as far as a phone, if I just need to access files, I have a cloud.
Right.
Yep.
Where
I
is
have
it?
iCloud Store. It's on my phone, bro.
Oh, you have the cloud.
Yes, I control the weather.
Control the weather. So my theory is that YouTube would need to make their app a lot better if they're really going to take over the
The
Instagram
streaming
thing.
side. If they're going to take over
the music, the everything.
gonna-
Because
if they're gonna-
do you ever get on their app?
Yes.
It's terrible. I mean, it's just like chunky and just slow
It is
and
very
weird.
inconvenient compared to like a Spotify.
Like
or-
Instagram makes sense.
Apple Music's pretty bad though. They're the way their integration is
Oh,
terrible.
Apple Music, iTunes has always been bad.
The worst.
Like compared to like
Yeah.
Spotify or even SoundCloud.
Yeah.
It's odd because
Yeah.
iOS is the most user friendly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But it's like whoever got on the development side for the iTunes thing, they're like, just weren't getting it.
Whatever. As long as I don't send green text, I'm good.
Right.
Google can keep that.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
shit. Well, shit, man. I really appreciate you coming by the studio.
Yeah, it was fun. We're done.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any more questions?
Oh man, we could take them on the deep dive.
I mean,
but
we could
just
go. We
spend-
could keep going forever, but
Let's go. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Let's
You can't
ask them
leave,
some
you
more.
can't leave me on that Apple
Yeah.
Yeah.
user experience.
Let's
YouTube
get him.
app.
Let's get to the content that all the guys that are trying to make a rap career come up right now.
Right.
I think one of the biggest questions I get asked is there's when you're a rapper, you're singing or whatever, you're trying to make it, like there's so many ways you could spend your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could spend it, shooting a really dope music video, getting my stuff mixed and mastered,
Paying
getting
for my beats.
I could try
People
to pay.
pay for that?
No, just lease them.
Just lease them.
Yeah.
They could try to pay for radio play at midnight. You know what I mean? Yeah. What are the hacks to spending your small budgets wisely and making that really count and getting out there?
Google advertising.
Yeah. Comes back to running ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the music's cool. I mean, buy your beats, take care of those around you. But
Right.
dude, you can't get eyes on your shit.
Yeah, if you don't have the eyes, you're just
Like,
not-
I will tell you, I do not look at YouTube views as my first, gauge if this person is worth pursuing, but it's my second.
Right.
I go to the music and then I go to see, oh, cool, how many views do they have on YouTube, how many plays they have on Spotify, how many people are actually engaging with them. SoundCloud is important. SoundCloud to me is more important than Spotify and Apple Music, and the reason is because SoundCloud is social.
Yeah.
Right.
I can actually see people reposting, commenting, and all that stuff. Some people say it's bootleg. I really don't care. Because
Yeah.
Spotify is where I go, but unless you get playlisted, you're not grabbing views like that.
Right.
So, or plays, excuse me. But on SoundCloud, if you have 100,000 people commenting on your shit, that's like having 10 million plays on Spotify to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Each one of those people took the time to comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Which
like
means
a
they'll take
big
the
fan.
time to check out a show.
Absolutely.
Or
And they'll
buy.
take the time to buy merch. and
Exactly.
go follow you around and follow your Instagram stories and
Exactly.
yeah.
Can we talk about this Drake Pusha T thing? Now it's on my mind again.
Now that it's on your mind again.
or does no one care?
No. I wanted to talk about it like a couple podcasts ago, but I felt like
Just things move so quick now.
Yeah, it's just like the Drake thing. The story changed once the album dropped. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no one cared.
yeah, exactly.
It's so funny though.
Let's talk current events. Let's talk some like
You want to talk about the Drake dance now?
no, nothing about Kiki.
Please, no Kiki.
She doesn't love you, Drake.
And, she ain't about you.
Yeah, I mean anything else.
Okay. The next thing is playing live. That's the. I think I try to like explain to artists that like playing live is paramount to gauging, what your actual audience is, who actually shows up. You know what I mean? You could have a gajillion people on Instagram. If you can only get 5 people to a venue, you know what I mean? That gajillion people, like, what's the actual value of that?
One more time.
So
do you
playing
quantify
live.
a gajillion?
Okay.
Just fucking with you.
Yeah,
Where
what is
is
a good chill?
500?
Is Charlemagne gonna show up?
Yeah, pretty soon.
Where's he at?
He's actually in the booth right now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's taking a nap.
What were you saying?
So playing live, is it more important to play live consistently, or is it more important to release music consistently? What's your take on that?
Well, you got to release to perform live.
Okay, so you think that's the chicken before the egg?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of someone like, oh, you played a song at a show that you didn't release first, and then they're like, oh, you got to release that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I see tons of artists play music that's not out there yet.
Right.
Yeah,
But then
like
they
as
put
a
it
full
out.
set.
I was like, really? What's
Yeah.
the point of that?
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And you got to continue to working a record is performing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you're doing a club hosting and doing your one song, you're milking that record for what it's worth.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the reason people are there.
Yeah.
If you can go get $10,000 off a walkthrough where you do 2 songs, like that's worth it.
100%.
How long does it take you to make 10 grand off streams?
Actually, that leads to another
Some artists
Yeah.
will never make 10 grand off streams.
another really good question that I think I see a lot with artists is working the record. Like, for example, your record with Saweetie. Like, how long did you guys work that record before? Because I feel like artists get really sick of what they put out, like the second they put it out. You know what I mean?
We're still working the record.
Exactly.
We recorded that in May
Mm-hmm.
of last year, 17. Put it up on SoundCloud. It started to do pretty well. Did about, I want to say, 30,000 plays in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started gearing up to shoot a video. We released the video in October. And just kind of caught from there. But, once you release it, you have to start servicing it to radio. Hiring a radio guy who has relationships to get on mix shows. And if it performs well on a mix show, then you can actually get in rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets in rotation, then you start to attract booking agents and things of
Yep.
that nature, right? I can't give you all the keys. But I'll say this, we're still working the record.
Yeah.
And you have to work a record till it's done, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or at least until you have another record to work.
Yeah.
We have an EP out. We're working good, and we're working band right now.
Yep.
But we're already in album mode.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, you have to understand that it's a constant flow, and album cycles are cyclical. So it's like, if I release in May or March rather, then I need to have another album to come out fourth quarter, corresponding directly to the other side of the year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But in that 6-month window, you got to work the records,
Mm-hmm.
and you're never done recording.
Yeah.
For some people, you can drop every month, like Future.
Mm-hmm.
And that works, but not every song's a hit.
Yeah.
I'm bigger on quality over quantity,
Mm-hmm.
but I also believe that you can't, unless you're Adele, you can't drop every 5 years.
Yep.
Right.
You gotta keep
So
people entertained.
where are you guys getting your beats and stuff from? Are you like going to beatstars.com or?
No. I don't think I've been to that website.
I'm just playing.
No. I mean, I sit at Reading Camp. We just wrapped that up. Have
Nice.
a lot of great producers in there. Relationships in the industry. There'll be some heavy hitters on this album.
Sick.
Nice.
And that's the thing. You got to capitalize on hype.
Mhm.
Right.
You
Yeah.
got to, if you have a hot record,
Get a feature.
honestly, I'm not really into features.
Mm.
I love a good flip.
Yeah.
Flips do really well. I mean, look at, Rihanna's biggest record last year was that Carlos Santana flip.
No
with
shit,
Khaled.
right?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And it's to me, it's really cool when artists can either interpolate something or make a flip better than it was.
Right.
It
I'm
reminds
not
me
sa-
of sorry.
No, go ahead.
Reminds me of Flo Rida. He made like a whole career out of flipping.
Yeah, well,
Now he plays entrepreneur.
sometimes
events.
it's interpolation. Britney Spears literally recreated Joan Jett's "I Love Rock and Roll."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
The Alien Ant Farm
Yep.
Yeah, that was a
made
huge
a
one.
career off.
Literally their whole career.
I partied with those guys. They're wild, man.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, they're wild. I partied with them in Detroit a couple times.
That's funny.
And then there's certain things like the Beatles made a song "Can't Buy Me Love,"
Right.
and then J-Lo made a song called "Love Don't Cost a Thing," and just
Right.
flipped it and did an urban interpolation of that.
Yeah.
Now the song melodies may not be the same, but the content is the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
So to me, like when Wyclef and Carlos did Maria,
Oh yeah, that shit
one,
was hot.
and then it's all about Maria driving him crazy. Now in Rihanna's flip, I forgot the name of the record. What was the record called? Wild Thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wild
yeah,
Thoughts,
yeah.
Wild Thoughts. She goes, I know you want to see me naked. Like she's trying to like now like the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So to
It's
me,
pretty cool. It's very theatrical.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just
Right,
be
right,
creative.
right.
Be creative with the way you steal.
Yeah.
Right.
And they definitely pay for it. But it's, even someone like Drake can take Too Short's first verse on Blow the Whistle and put it on a Khaled song.
Yeah.
Right.
But he knows it's just going to work.
Yeah.
It's proven.
I think
I love samples.
the one I just saw was the Iggy Azalea Tiger record. You hear that one?
Big record.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah.
The cream one. Just
Yeah.
flipping.
They just
that.
performed that yesterday at this charity basketball game I was at.
Nice.
Yeah.
Saweetie did the halftime show, and they did the second half of the halftime show.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That one's just getting legs, I feel like.
Oh, for sure.
Nah, it's going to go much further.
Tyga has one of the songs of the summer right now.
Right. Yeah.
Taste.
Yep.
And it's nice to see Iggy Azalea back.
No shit.
I mean, people can hate all they want, but she's a superstar. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, people are going to hear that and judge me for it, but how many number one records do you have? Do you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
She
Yeah.
is fancy, so it's
Yeah.
whatever.
I definitely didn't expect her to come back that hard. You know what I mean? That record, when I first heard it, I was like, yep, this is it.
This is actually pretty dope.
I mean, I think anyone who's had a huge record is always a threat for another one.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
Lil Wayne can have a hit at any time. I
Yep.
think 50 Cent can have a hit at any time.
Totally.
I think Missy Elliott could, but it has to be the right record.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, even Soulja Boy, people been making fun of that guy forever, dude.
Right.
But like every 2-3 years, he comes with something.
Caught
Yeah.
one with Drake, right? The last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Nicki, even if it's a production. I mean, it's just about staying around.
Yeah.
No one thought Post Malone was going to be this big.
yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Nobody.
That was a huge surprise.
But now he's, I think, the number 2 artist streaming in the world.
That's so crazy.
I think his sound was, his sound is the sound of right now where you hear, Juice
WRLD?
WRLD and
So that's about, yeah.
yeah. And I always wondered, did Post Malone just swing around at the right time, or did someone really just take did his sound get copied?
I think he was perfectly packaged.
Yeah.
I think White Iverson, with his appearance,
Yeah.
it's like, what are you going to say?
Yeah. What are you gonna? Yeah, it's undeniable.
The saucy white guy with cornrows?
Yeah. Right.
That's about White Iverson?
Yeah.
Appropriating culture to the max.
Yeah.
But it's a hot record.
Huge.
And he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Appropriate all day, but just own up to it. I love Post.
Yeah.
But like White Iverson is that's literally the name White Iverson could be taken so many different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
But there's no one who doesn't love I'm so sad, I'm so sad, I'm so sad.
Right.
Or any of his music currently.
yeah.
I
currently
personally
killer.
think his new album is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like a lot of the music on it. I think he's honed his formula to the max. I feel like he's a lot more polished than when he first started.
This album won me over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stoney was cool. I was kind of more into the Weeknd's album when that dropped. They dropped around the same
Right.
time.
Right.
But this new album, I mean, wow. He has 2 number ones.
Yeah.
Rockstar and
Perfectly orchestrated. I'll
and
say
Psycho.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Rockstar was originally written by
T-Pain,
I want to say
right?
T-Pain. No, Joey Badass, and T-Pain was
Yeah.
the original feature.
Wow.
And you got 21 Savage on it. Now you on tour with 21.
Yeah.
Now 21 Savage and Ty Dolla $ign both got their first number 1 records off of
Right.
Post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's crazy.
But you know what? The reason he wins is the same reason Drake wins. They have melody in their raps. You have melody, you can take over the radio.
You got a radio. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about that with Brian Gaffey just 2 podcasts ago. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, Like, how do you get radio play melodic, like melody?
You know what? I got this article sent to me, and it was every #1 record in hip hop history.
Right. And it's all melodic or has a good catchy hook.
It's either melodic or white artists.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? There are exceptions because I wouldn't have thought Cardi B would have done so well with what do you call that? What's that record that put her on?
Bodak Yellow?
Yeah.
Man,
that wasn't a radio record.
Man, but
she made that thing.
But that's a record.
Yeah.
That's a very special record to me. And I think the reason is because, I can feel it.
Right.
Like, it's funny. Like, little bitch, you can't talk. You couldn't fuck with me if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that, but I feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna put it in her words, right?
Yeah. But here's this. Like, the first #1 song that was a rap record was Ice Ice Baby.
Yep.
The second one was Marky Mark.
Wow.
Good Vibrations. White rapper. But then you get Crisscross Jump.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, Baby Got Back. That went #1. Like,
yeah.
What?
Wow.
But you have to understand, like, these are all artists like Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise. They used to be able to control the outflow.
Yeah.
Now, what does Hot 100 mean? Because it doesn't take into account, the streaming chart.
Yeah.
Right.
So it depends on, what you're looking for. I can't believe it was Ice Ice Baby and
I know. Those are the 1 and 2.
Nuts.
That is insane. That's just...
Marky Mark.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
Marky Mark and the Funky
Biggie had
Bunch.
like 3 in a row, though.
Yeah. Biggie was huge.
If you count I'll Be Missing You.
Yeah.
It's a Sting record.
It's really a Sting record.
It's a Sting record.
With some
bro.
rappers. So.
Yeah.
Dude, Will Smith.
Wow, yeah. Will Smith, of course.
Wild Wild West. A movie went #1. What? This is great. I mean, Crazy Town. I didn't know that was considered rap.
Crazy Town.
Wow.
Yeah, that's considered rap. That's
Will
funny.
Smith created the kind of cross-platform play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All that I feel like, that has been used ever since then.
Yeah, but check this out. So you got in. This is a great run here for my guys. My Shady Aftermath, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Lose Yourself.
Yep.
Went #1 for 12 weeks.
Wow.
So that wasn't even on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you have 50 in the Club, and then you got 21 Questions by 50.
Oh my God.
Sick.
That's wild. And in between here, Nelly has 6 #1 records.
Wow.
It's insane.
Nelly was a killer. Well, thanks for tuning in. Adam Small. Drop your Instagram. Where can people follow you, find you?
Make sure you follow Artistry Records at Artistry, ARTISTRY Records on Instagram. And my name is Wosslife, WOSSLIFE.
Nice. And follow Kevin, KDE Beats,
Yep.
Bradley HD, and go follow Radium, of course. Radium_media.
Go stream the High Maintenance EP by Saweetie. Out now, everywhere.
There you go. You heard it. Thanks for tuning in.